States could win the Olympic gold medal in ice hockey. Nobody else believed it, not even the players believed it. But Herb Brooks had a dream. He was on fire, and he pushed his players. He had college all-stars. They were only together for 3 months. They played at different universities. Some of them had not only played against each other, they didn't like each other because of rivalries. But he said, when you put on that jersey that says USA, you represent your nation. He worked them really, really hard. He said, work hard, take pride in what you do, help your teammates, put the team first. He worked them so hard, some of them wanted to quit. What they found was the harder they worked, the better they got, the better they performed, and the better they felt about themselves. So entering the exhibition season, they were playing at a reasonably high level. And they won 4 exhibition games, tied one, and their final exhibition game was against the mightiest team in the world, the USSR, the Soviet Union, which encompassed the better part of the continent. Ice hockey is the passion, was the passion in Russia and the USSR. The USSR massacred the United States. Just a couple days before the Olympics started, 11-3. The American players were intimidated by these big older guys who were professionals. They were paid by the state. 11-3. At a point in the game, the United States just let up. Sometimes when you really mess up, or you realize you've not been focused, or you realize you don't like what's happened to you, and you don't ever want to feel that again, that disappointment, you take your performance to a higher level, which is what Team USA did. They entered the Olympics on fire. They had something to prove. They wanted to get rid of that horrible taste of the massacre of the 11-3. And they won again and again. And now they've earned the right. They're undefeated in the Olympics. They've earned the right to play the semifinals. The winner of the semifinals will play for the championship for the gold medal. The dream is looking maybe possible, except they've got to play the team that just clobbered them, the Soviet Union. 3 weeks later, they're playing on home ice in Lake Placid, New York. Now, ice hockey is a combination of soccer, lacrosse, and football. The puck moves over 90 miles an hour at that level, and the speed of the skaters is pretty intense. You can imagine how hard the hits are. Same principles as soccer and lacrosse with the hits of football. On the one hand, in ice hockey, it's a thing of beauty. Speed, skill, tactics, teamwork. That puck just moves around. On the other hand, it's a bruising game. And you'll see some of that. It's amazingly well recreated. Now, the Russian team had played together for 10 years. They were 30, 31, 32 years old. That is all they did, was to train for hockey. They hadn't lost in 2 years. They were good, they were fast, and they intimidated the opposition. They weren't against taking cheap shots to send a message. The United States, those guys were 19, 20, 21 years old. They'd never seen anything like this before. You'll see their faces on the ice. They're scared to death, but they are determined. They don't want a repeat of the terrible, terrible 11-3 game. Soviet Union, you'll see some hard hits that are meant to send a message. You'll see the United States bounce back, but you'll see a really dirty play that the ref lets go. Life's not always fair. Let's see what happens when the United States falls behind 0-1.
Streaking up the boards. Power pass ready to Shoots saved by Tom. Puck cleared out of the net. Taken away by the end of the Soviet captain, Boris Mikhailov. Krutov with a hard shot from the ice line. With the save. Golikov. Again, Craig is equal to the task.
Use those boards, get it out. Use those boards.
Petrov with a puck across the U.S. blue line. Passes across the front line. Shot. Stop. Petrov trying to rid that. To Makarov at the point. He fires it all on the boards. Picked up behind the net by Schneider. Schneider losing it. In the corner. Deflected in. The Soviet Union takes a 1-0 lead. Kasatonov slap shot was deflected in past Craig. So the Soviet Union leads 1-0 early in the first period.
Forget about it now. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Mikhailov and Kristov facing off in center ice. The puck headed to Matizov. Across to the veteran Varlamov. Varlamov to Mikhailov. Mikhailov up the boards and into the corner. It's saved by Jim Craig. Craig gets a stick on it. The U.S. in possession now. Ramsey moving up to Johnson. Johnson is hung up by Billy Lendova. Feeds it around the boards. We're picked up by Krutov. Crossing the middle line. The puck is picked up by Eruzione. By Krutov. Johnson with it now. Flying up the board.
We got time.
So here's control. That's a tunnel. Krutov with the puck back. Up into Schneider.
In the first game, when they took the hard hits, they backed down. This time they refused to back down. They gave it back. They took their performance to a higher level. Guys, things won't always be fair, they won't always go right. How you handle those moments is going to determine what you do the next time and the next time. Habits. Habits become who you are. What you do every day is who you are eventually. Don't back down from challenge. And when things are unfair, take your performance to a higher level. You know, the real test of character is what happens when you come face to face with adversity, with hardship. You have every opportunity in front of you, but every moment is not going to be perfect. I love the way they bounced back. 1-1. Then they fell behind. Then they caught up. They fell behind, they caught up, it's tied. 5 minutes left, the United States took the lead. I remember watching that game on a Sunday in 1980. The whole nation lived through this team. The power of one example that lifted the entire nation at a really, really